Have you ever tried to zip a jacket and have the zipper kind of just get all crazy so that you can't make it zip up? Or maybe that's happened to you when you've been trying to zip a skirt or a pair of pants. That is so frustrating, and it's frustrating because you can't get the job done. When the zipper does that, when it gets off kilter like that, it's out of alignment. And alignment is a very important part of after school. We need to not only be aligned internally after school, but we also need to be aligned externally with our most important partner, which is the school day folks. Please join me for a lesson for program leaders or frontline staff on the importance of alignment and how you, as a member of the after-school team, can align with the school day. Today we're going to talk about alignment and how an after-school program can align with the school day. I think it's important that as frontline staff, you understand what alignment is and perhaps what alignment isn't. Alignment is not just replicating or duplicating the school day. Kids have already been in school. What they need is a way to hone those skills that they learned during the school day, but they don't need a repeat performance. They need things to be done in a different way, because if they didn't learn it the first time in a certain delivery mode, if we were to deliver it again in the exact same mode, chances are they're not going to be able to learn it that way the second time either. So it's really important that you understand that you're not trying to be a classroom teacher, but you are really working to help kids learn what they need to learn so that they can master the standards, so they can master the grade level expectations of them, so that they can move forward to the next grade level and be accomplished at that grade level as well. So alignment isn't about duplicating. It's not about doing the same activities, but it is about supporting activities. Another thing that alignment means is that you are expanding the opportunities in the after-school program. If you get locked into alignment being exactly like the school day, then what you're really doing is extending that time period into the after-school arena. And we're not doing that. We're expanding it. We're using disguised learning. We're using project-based learning. We're using service learning. Opportunities that give kids the chance to apply those academic skills. And we also help them out academically so that they can master the skills in isolation and maybe in games or other activities that we have them participate in, but then we take it to the application level. So it's important that you understand that about alignment. You are expanding the school day. You are not extending it. Another thing that you need to understand about alignment is this. School day has what's called a scope and sequence. Scope means all the things that you're going to cover in a particular grade level during a year. And sequence means what's the order that you're going to take to teach those things. It's important as an after-school person that you are aware of the scope and sequence that's being followed by the teachers in the grade level of students that you're serving. You do not want to get in front of them, and you also don't want to be so far behind them that you're not supporting them. 2 or 3 days behind them is an appropriate amount of space, but you have to know what they're doing. If you are unaware of what's happening in the school day, and the only connection you have to it is by looking at homework, you may discover that you are not in alignment with them, and there will be disconnects all over the place. And so it's important that you take the initiative to find out what's going on in the school day and to take a look at their scope and sequence. So the whole thought of alignment is, how do we align the work we're doing, the resources that we have to support the student to be able to achieve academic success, social success, and emotional success. This is the importance of alignment, and we need to work in partnership with the school day so that we can expand the opportunities that we give to kids in the after-school program. So how do you go about doing that as frontline staff? You might be very willing to do that, but how do you do it? Oftentimes in the after-school program, you share classroom space with a teacher. If that teacher is in the grade level of students that you're serving, talk with them. Ask them about the scope and sequence. If you don't share a classroom with the teacher, if you can make an arrangement to arrive even 5 or 10 minutes early, maybe one day every month, to check in with the teacher, that would be very appropriate. To just simply ask them, hey, what are you going over in language arts? Is there something I could help you with by supporting you in the after-school program during math? And what about science or social studies? Just quickly asking the teacher and having them give you back that information will be very important. If you don't have the time as frontline staff, then hopefully your site coordinator will have time to make those interactions with the school day and then share them with you. Another thing that I think is incredibly important is to visit a classroom space. Maybe the teacher isn't there, but just simply looking at the space. Look at the bulletin boards. Look at the whiteboard. What have they written on the whiteboard? What's important? What standard does it say that they're working on? Usually you will find a vast amount of information in a teacher's classroom simply on the walls and on the whiteboards. And if you go in and really take a good look at that, you will be able to see how you might align with where they're going. If you have a chance, or if your site coordinator has a chance because you don't, to attend grade level meetings, nothing could be more helpful. During grade level meetings, teachers get together across the grade level and make a grade level plan about how they're going to move forward. If you are aware of their plan, then you know how you can fit into it and also align your work with theirs. Sometimes you will have an opportunity to attend a school day training. For example, you have a school day that may be rolling out a new curriculum in language arts. If you have the opportunity to attend a portion or all of that training, please take advantage of that, because by doing that you will know firsthand what's being taught in the school day and how you can start to support that during the after school time. Other sorts of training that you might be interested in would have to do with character ed, or a behavior management system where they are interacting with kids in a particular way. Or maybe assemblies where they are celebrating and honoring kids so that you can carry that into the after-school program as well. So as much time, face time, as you can spend in the school day, the more you can do that, the more aligned you will be with the teachers that you're working with and the students you're working with. And again, if you can't do that as frontline staff, then your site coordinator doing that and sharing that with you is equally good. More and more schools are doing what is called data reflection. During data reflection meetings, grade levels come together and they really look at each student. If you have an opportunity to get feedback from one of those data reflection meetings or to participate in it yourself, that would be a great place to not just know generally what's happening in a grade level, but specifically what's happening for Susie and George in that grade level and how you might be able to support them in the after-school program. So if there are opportunities for you to attend data reflection meetings or to get that information from either teachers or from your site coordinator, by all means take advantage of that. Finally, if there is an academic liaison at the school, somebody who's bridging between the after-school program and the school day, take advantage of the opportunity to talk with this person. They are charged with helping to align and bridge between the two programs. So this is a person who is really working in your best interest as well as the school day's best interest. So getting together with that person and asking questions and truly understanding the perspective of the school day about what's going on will help you line up and know which direction you ought to be taking. So if you look at homework, check agendas. Check with teachers to be sure what the assignments are. Help kids do as much of the homework as they possibly can, but if they can't get it all finished, be sure that they have a recipe for how to finish the homework so that they know what they're doing. Alignment in this way is incredibly important. So you want to be sure that you're understanding what the teacher is expecting from homework, and then that way you can help to deliver that. And that is one small piece of alignment that you can work on nearly every day of program. You need to understand that after-school programming, if it just runs 3 hours a day for 180 school days, is offering 90 additional school days of support, of opportunity for that young person to master and learn the standards and the skills that they need from that grade level so they can progress. So understanding that after school has a huge value add simply in dosage is important. And then if you can do that in a more aligned way, that dosage becomes even more important and more critical as part of your value add. So you can do that with homework. You can also do that by explaining how many extra hours of practice kids have. But there are other ways that you can do that as well. One way is to be very, very standard specific. People ask us, is after school standards based? And the answer is, of course it is standards based. But what I believe they're really asking you is, are you doing anything to specifically support the development of understanding of standard 1.3 or 1.9 or 3.7? And so you need to know what standards are and what you're working on. And so if you're working games on synonyms and antonyms, homographs and homophones in the 3rd grade, you are working on standard 1.4. And you need to know that. You don't have to memorize them all, but you need to understand that you are helping build students' competency in specific standards and that you are working on them in the after school, whether that be formally or informally. Usually it's informally through games, through activities, but it can also be formally by actually doing a lesson on synonyms or antonyms. You need to pay attention to how students are doing in the after-school program. If they are struggling with homework day after day after day, good alignment practices would be to not only express that to the parent, but to also let the school day teacher know that the student is struggling. This is a piece that not only advocates for the student, who certainly needs your support, but helps teachers to make adjustments to what they're doing. Another thing that you can do in order to be totally aligned in the after-school program is to ask what skills they're working on and then check it out to see if you have any games or activities that you can plug in during that time frame that will allow students to improve upon those skills. You always want to be sure that kids are getting stronger and stronger at what they're doing. Alignment is incredibly important for after school and the school day, but it's essential for students. Students have one day. They have from the time they get up in the morning until the time they go to bed at night. And it's important that the adults who they engage with during that single day are lined up and giving them the same messages, the same encouragements, and operating basically from the same set of values and beliefs. So it's important for you as a frontline staff member to be sure that you are in alignment with, not necessarily duplicating or replicating, but in alignment with the school day. And when you are, that is a huge value add, not only for your program, but for the students you serve.